Welcome to Women's Rugby Rundown 197 for April 14th through the 20th. This week, we're gearing up for the 2025 HSBC Sevens Grand Final in Los Angeles, taking place May 3rd through 4th. We know the pools, and we've got the fixtures. We're also celebrating the news that Rugby Sevens will return to the Olympics at LA 2028. The USA Women's Eagles are set to smash the attendance record in Kansas City with their upcoming match against Canada, while South Africa kicked off their season with a strong win over Spain. Georgia made their historic 15s debut against Kazakhstan, and England and France stay on track for the Grand Slam decider this weekend. Uganda finished unbeaten at the Rugby Africa Women's Division I tournament and earned promotion to the 2025 Africa Cup. The Blues also made history, dominating to win the first ever Women's Super Rugby Champions Final over the Waratahs. And we'll round up all the global and premier club news worldwide. I'm Wendy, here to bring you the latest in women's rugby news. This is your Women's Rugby Rundown, and we're about to kick off. Let's start with some Sevens news. The last stop in the HSBC Sevens series is LA. It's also the Grand Final, and we'll see our championship teams here. New Zealand and Australia lead those pools. Could be an interesting tournament as we have several players now declaring that they'll play in the 2025 Rugby World Cup, or at least are going to try to play in it, so they may not be available for this tournament, so we could see some shakeup. The playoff pools for LA Sevens were released last week. Pool A is led by Brazil, Pool B led by China. Top two teams from each pool are from the Sevens series, so that bottom four that we've been talking about facing possible relegation, and then the other four teams, Kenya, Colombia, South Africa, Argentina, came in from the Challenger Series. So this is a really cool format. We've always been a fan of it, so these teams will play each other, and then we'll see about promotion and relegation. Or will we see about promotion and relegation? It was a quiet update last week. World Rugby hinted at a possible overhaul of its Sevens and Challenger Series formats after the current season ends. So even if Kenya or South Africa win, they may not be promoted into the Sevens tournament after all. So a lot of unknowns here, but this platform was one way that women's Sevens teams were growing. And we say that specifically because men's Sevens always grows. There's always those programs. But this was a way for China, Kenya, Uganda, Colombia to continue their Sevens programs, and others were joining. It was also confirmed this week that Rugby Sevens will return to the Olympics in Los Angeles in 2028, and it will be at the Dignity Health Sports Park, which is where LA Sevens is held currently. We've had several USA matches there for 15s as well. Let's switch over to 15s news now. When the USA Women Eagles meet Canada in Kansas City on May 2nd at the CKPC Stadium, that's the KC Currents NWSL Stadium, created specifically for women, that will do so in front of the largest ever crowd for a standalone women's rugby match in the United States. More than 7,500 tickets have already been sold, shattering the previous record of 2,000. I happened to be at that match with my family in Glendale, and that was a great match, and it was a really good turnout, so really excited for 7,500. There are still some tickets available. We've heard we're well above 7,500 now, so get your tickets. South Africa started their 2025 Rugby World Cup warm-up matches against Spain. It was a comprehensive 48-26 victory, and their powerful pack laid the foundation for a really strong performance. Netherlands closed out their Rugby Europe Championship campaign with a dominant 90-3 win over Sweden, and that secured them second place behind Spain, the champions. Georgia made their historic 15s debut against Kazakhstan, falling 47-5, but celebrating their first ever try and setting the stage for a rematch on April 24th. After round 4 of the Women's Six Nations, here's the standing. England dominated Scotland 59-7 to set up a Grand Slam decider with France, who left it late to beat Italy 34-21, while Ireland rolled past Wales 40-14 to move into third. England's more than likely going to win, so let's look at the fun parts. Wales or Scotland? They're the ones that need to have some miracles happen this weekend to try to avoid that wooden spoon. Uganda dominated Zimbabwe 63-7 to finish unbeaten at the Rugby Africa Women's Division I tournament. This earned them promotion to the 2025 Rugby Africa Women's Cup alongside South Africa, Kenya, and Madagascar, which we believe will take place in May. Portia Woodman-Wickliffe has officially come out of retirement and re-enters the World Rugby Cup conversation, adding more firepower to the Black Ferns as they build towards 2025. If you aren't listening to Alice Sopper's Full Credit podcast, they had a really fun segment more than once talking about how Portia looks amazing in Super Rugby Opaki for the Blues, and she's just crushing it and looks like she's in top form. So hopefully we'll see her in a Black Ferns jersey once again. Let's head over to Premier and Club Women's Rugby news. The Blues dominated in tough conditions. If you haven't seen the highlights or even the full match, you should go watch. It was the first ever Women's Super Rugby Championship final, and the Blues beat the Waratahs 31-5 at North Harbour Stadium. Only one WER match this weekend. New York Exiles edged, and I mean edged, the Boston Banshees 24-20. They jump into third place. Boston stays on top. Coming up this weekend, a couple of big matches for TC Gemini and the Tempest, both at the bottom of this table, but could improve their fortunes up against some tough opponents, though. USA Club Women's Rugby update. A couple of changes have happened in the Pacific region. D1, Life West is out. Santa Monica's in. We're also hearing there may be potential changes for Pacific D2 as well. All the other regions seem to be pretty static, but we'll keep providing updates as we get them. Round 16 of Elite 1 saw wins from Blagnac, Toulouse, Lyon, ASM Romagny, and AC Bobigny, with Bordeaux still leading the table. With 2 rounds to go. Only one match in Fiji's Nasoko tournament. Takia bounced back, pulling away in the second half to beat Bilibili 27-17. That does it for us. Of course, there's more news on our site at yscrugby.com. Never miss an episode of Women's Rugby Rundown by subscribing on Spotify, YouTube, Patreon, or any of our favorite social media platforms.